Hello everyone, this is a video review of a new MTT section of GTOBase. This is a fairly new section. GTOBase itself is not a new service, it's been around for quite some time, but mostly people used it for spin and goes and heads up. There were libraries with solutions for those disciplines. So many MTT players do not even know what GTOBase is. So me and guys from Simple Poker, we've been working on this MTT section for some time and we continue working on it. And recently it has been released and as of now the program is in a trial version, so to say, and is free for everyone until the end of October. Okay, let me introduce you to this service and explain why is it actually so cool. And a little spoiler here, for me personally, this service is pure imba, using the gaming slang, in terms of studying and working on your game. Because this service, first of all, provides all the solutions for the preflop scenarios. So it basically includes simple postflop. Second of all, it includes simple postflop as well, so the solutions for the postflop spots. Third, it includes its own GTO Trainer, so you can use all of it, all of these three features in your browser. And there is a fourth feature as well, which is uploading and analyzing your hands. This is a dream come true for every lazy person, including myself. Because the calculation of all the preflop and postflop solutions takes quite some time, and also you need to calculate the actual game tree for your situation, which also takes a lot of time, especially for the deep stack spots with many sizings. Or it could be a huge preflop tree, so yeah, all of this takes a lot of time. Could take weeks even on some powerful computers. Okay, now let's take a good look at what this service actually is. You can easily Google it, GTOBase, or use the direct link, gtobase.com. And if you want to use this service, first thing you have to do is you have to sign up. The procedure is standard and quite easy. No need to talk about it. Then you can customize all the visuals, like all the colors, how you want every window to look like, and so on. And let's go through it probably right now, so we don't have to come back later. So after you sign up, you have this settings option, and the first step here is your active and inactive subscriptions. But no subscriptions for now. Again, till the end of October, everything is free here. So yeah, you can try pretty much every feature, you can try all the options and so on. And next step, preferences, is where you can actually set up every color for every action you want. I don't think I have to do any explaining here, pretty obvious. Actions, cards and suits, you can choose a color for a certain suit if you want to. And we also have three different card styles. I think it's really cool that guys took some time to work on this one. Next we have position colors and finally matrix colors. Oh, this tab is quite easy and intuitive, and I don't think that we have to spend any more time here. Okay, now let's get back to the main screen. We have a few very important tabs on the top. First we have libraries, different libraries for different game types, and there are some free libraries here for heads up cache. And yeah, we have different packs for heads up NT game, spin and go game, and finally a new feature, MTT games. And this little burning image represents what I think is the gist of this service, because to me it's just scalding hot and really cool. We have two packs here for 8 max MTTs and 9 max MTTs. We only have maximum stacks of 30 BBs for 9 max MTTs. Just so we have some maybe rare but still occurable 9 max MTT spots. And for 8 max MTTs we have packs for effective stacks of 40 to 50 BBs. We will of course add more stack sizes here over the time, but for now that's all we have. And let's go for 9 max MTTs. And now we are moved to the View tab. And by the way, you don't have to open those packs in Library tab. You just can click here, mouse over here, at the View tab, and there you go, all the GTO solutions right here. Okay, let's go through the interface. First of all, we have this big matrix window. On the right, we have a list of different combos. We have suit matrix. And at the bottom of the screen, we have this little line of actions. In this very first square on the left, we can actually choose the stack sizes. We have a few solutions for different stack sizes from 15 BBs to 30 BBs for 9 max MTT. And let's go with 25 BBs just for the heck of it. Now, if we click on any position that we see here at the bottom, we're gonna see the raise first in strategy for this position with those stack sizes. And if you go with button, for example, we see that he raises 45% of hands and he folds 55% of hands. And if we choose a certain position and we choose a certain action here, for example, raise 2 BBs, which is mean raise basically, we see the reaction of the next player to act, which is MP1 in this case. And again, all the colors that you see, you can customize yourself. I use this pattern. Yellow is for call. You can see it down here as well. Purple for shove and green for raise. So yeah, here we see the reaction of the first player to act after MP mean raises. On your right, we have combo filters. We have suit filters, pretty much standard. Also, we have some buttons down here with different data. For example, we can take a look at the range, the weights of different combos, but it's much more useful for post-flop. We can see the EVs of different hands, we can see equity, and we can see ranges for 1 or 2 players, again, mostly useful for post-flop action. Okay, what is the gist of it? For now, what we see here, well, this is just the same as a simple preflop viewer. So for now, you can take a look at all the different preflop ranges, GTO ranges for different stack sizes from the pool of available sizes for free till the end of October. You don't have to do any calculations yourself, everything is calculated for you. And the calculations are very precise. There are a couple of options for every spot, and yeah, the most relevant calculations, I would say. Next feature, which is very useful, we can go straight to the post-flop action from the pre-flop tree. So let's assume, for example, that cutoff raises, well, first we have to fold here as MP. So yeah, all the players fold up to cutoff mean raises. And then instantly we have button reaction to this mean raise. If you want to get back to a cutoff strategy, we click on a cutoff here and we see what hands he prefers to raise. And from here we can go straight to the post-flop action. For now we have calculations for 2 players only. I mean, 3-way pots are not yet included. But for 2 players you can go through any possible preflop situation that we have here, small blind limps, big blind checks, UTG raises, hijacks 3-bets, whatever. So any spot that goes post-flop from the pre-flop you can go through. Every flop spot is calculated. Okay, now as an example, let's go through some spot. Let's assume that cutoff raises, button folds, small blind folds, and big blind calls. If you want to take a look at big blind defense ranges, we can just click here. And yeah, also it's very cool that this little pop-up window comes up if we mouse over on any hand, and we see all the percentages, we see EVs, we see all the combos. So yeah, very, very handy. And if we take a look at some hands that we always fold, we can see how much money we lose if we call them or raise, for that matter. For example, calling 10-5 offsuit is -3 BB per 100 in EV. So if we click call here, the program, not program but service, it's not a program per se, we don't have to download and install anything, we can use everything from our browser. So the service wants us to choose a board. We click OK and the magic starts. We get to see the solution pretty much right away. So we have everything calculated and we don't have to wait any time. And also please notice that the solution uses a lot of sizes post-flop. Why do we need this? Well, first of all, the diversity. If you want to take a look at different options, we have pretty much all of them. Well, some boards allow us to min bet. Some boards allow us to use huge overbets. We want to see it all. And the second moment, in the beginning of this video, I've said that there is a force feature of this service, which is uploading hands to then analyze them. You can actually upload your whole session, not just one or two hands. But anyway, when you upload hands and you use certain sizings in those hands, the service will compare your sizing, the one that you choose in your hand, to the one that is calculated here. And you will, for example, see the magnitude of your mistake. So this is why it's also very useful, a lot of sizings. So yeah, let's get back to our post-flop example, and what we see on this board, we see that big blind checks every hand. Not a very good flop for big blind. And if we choose check, we see the cutoff strategy. Again, we can take a look at the frequencies of our range here, or we can mouse over any hand and we can take a look at frequencies and EVs there. And again, we can choose any action and we can go over the whole tree. There are tons of bet sizings and tons of raise sizings actually. For example, if we go with the smallest bet here, which is min bet for cutoff, we see the reaction of the big blind to this min bet. And again, a lot of raise sizes. 4x, 5.5x, 7x, and all in. And again, we can see the preferable action for every hand in our range. And if, for example, we choose call here for the big blind, we are offered again to choose the next card of the board, turn card in this example. And again, almost instantly, in like 3 seconds, we have everything loaded. And we see the strategy of the big blind for this particular turn card. So yeah, this way we can go through every spot from a pre-flop to the river. But then again, for now, for 2 players only. But we have all the possible spots for 2 players, which is cool. For example, we can choose a spot where MP1 min raises and let's say a hijack 3 bets. He 3 bets to 5.5 BBs. And again, we see the reactions of every player. But if we want to choose a reaction for the pre-flop raiser, we go to the very end. Here it is, purple is for shoving, yellow is for calling. And if we go with call right here, again, we are offered to enter the board. Oh well, we have chosen the board already, but we can change it anytime. We can just click here and clear it and then choose the board that we want to analyze. Again, we see every option for MP1, and yeah, here all those little features, all those little buttons will be quite useful. Like equity distribution, range comparison, all of this quite handy. Okay, here I think everything is clear, pre-flop, post-flop, everything is pretty intuitive, all the actions are in one line from left to right. So if we want to get back to preflop or if we want to change the stack sizes, we go all the way left. And of course we can change any action, and yeah, to get to post-flop we only have to choose actions with 2 players involved. If we choose 1 preflop raiser and 2 callers, we will get no post-flop analysis for now because we have no multi-way pots uploaded. We just didn't do them yet, but I hope we get to it in the future. Okay, what else do we have here? What features? Well, basically what we have seen just now is basically a simple preflop and simple postflop with preloaded game trees. And also we can get to GTO Trainer from here. Well, actually GTO Trainer is a product of the same guys who developed simple preflop and simple postflop. And this product have been around on the market for quite some time now. Probably many of you have already worked with it, but anyhow, how do we get to a GTO Trainer from here? Okay, next to the every position, as we see here, there is a little play button. If we click on it, then we are moved to this new window, where we can actually choose the settings for our training session. We can choose anything we want from those options that are available. And what is really cool is that we can practice pre-flop here, for example, reactions to mean raises, which hands we want to 3-bet, which hands we want to call, which hands we want to fold, as well as post-flop. And again, for post-flop, we can go through every spot for every part of the game tree for 2 players. Okay, let's generate some situation for us, which we actually want to practice. And when we click play, we of course move to trainer for this certain spot, where we hit the play button, which is very handy. But we also can input the situation manually. Okay, let's choose a hero on the big blind and let's go over the spot where, oh, let's say UTG raises. Let's select mean raise here. Then all the other players fold and we have to go through all the game tree here. So the service knows which spot exactly we want to practice. Okay, UTG raises, everyone folds, and we can make our decision on the big blind. Again, we select BB for hero here, and we have different filters here, which are again very intuitive. I don't think that I have to go through any of those. Different boards in terms of suits, ranks, cards, high, mid, low. But let's leave all the flops here and click Start Training. Again, we see that all the positions are here, all the positions are available, so you can train, practice every spot that you want to. You just pick stack sizes, you pick spots, and you go over it. Okay, let's play a little bit, but first of all, let's take a look what options we have on the sides. Very intuitive settings on the left. Again, I don't think that I have to explain any of those. Show hand result, show hero range, show villain range, show hero combos, show villain strategy. Everything quite intuitive. Some stats down here, our mistakes, total EV loss. And in the middle we have our actions, and in this case I prefer to call 7-9 suited. And after we pick an action, we have some information down here. If you take a look right here, this is our action, which is call. And we see 2 lines. First line, which is all yellow, is the action for this certain hand, which is a 100% call, as we see here, so that's why the whole line is yellow. And the second line represents the strategy of our overall range in the spot. So we call approximately 60% of our hands according to this line. We fold 35, let's say, percent of our hands, and the rest, which is about 5%, we 3-bet. Okay, next we have a flop. This flop is completely random because we didn't apply any filters, as you remember, and we have different options. Let's go with a check. And again, very informative. We see that we always check with this hand and with our range overall on this board. So yeah, we basically check everything here. Our opponent bets 1 big blind, and what options do we have? Well, basically it's between check calling and check raising. Well, I don't know, let's go with the check raise. Okay, we actually check raise a lot with this combo, but we very rarely check raise to 5.5 BBs. We mostly check raise to 4 BBs with this hand. And it's marked as an error, but as we see, we still raise to 5.5 BBs 0.02% of the time, and the EVs are actually quite close. So this is not a big mistake. And maybe over time there will be an option to set a threshold for mistakes in terms of EV. Because yeah, plus 0.79 and plus 0.78, the difference is negligible. So according to Solver, this is an error, but we can easily not consider this a mistake. And I assume that interface will be improved over time. For example, this button replay hand is very small, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a little bit bigger, but still it's just the testing period. And the button itself allows us to replay the hand from the beginning. So then we can choose the correct option and move on. Okay, we check, he min bets again, and now we choose the correct sizing, so that the service is okay with it and we can go on. And our opponent min re-raises. Wow, this is interesting. Okay, let's go with call, I think. The potats are way too good. Okay, calling was correct, ace on the turn, and again we have two options. Oh, so he wants to donk bet shove this one. This is interesting, one more error from our side, but this spot is quite rare. And we can't actually go with a check call, we shove every time. And yeah, we can go to the next hand and so on and so on. And if you want to, we can get back to the previous hand. I mean, no, we can go to the previous hand. We can go back to the spot in the viewer. So yeah, if we click here, we move to the different tab. Oh, this flop is actually quite interesting, and we probably can have a leading range here. Yeah, let's go with this small lead bet. Okay, I'm not in good shape today, but yeah, EVs are quite close, but we definitely prefer checking on this board. But it's not an error according to the solver. We lead bet here 0.62% of the time, okay? And our opponent raises. Well, let's call it. Here we have some showdown value. If our opponent raised lightly on the flop, we can give him an opportunity to bluff again. I prefer checking, and if he bets, I'm ready to play for stacks, and yeah, even against a small bet, I think that we have to shove and not call. Too many poor river cards for us, plus we have to protect against hands like Jack 10, Queen 10, Queen Jack. Yeah, let's go with the shove. Okay, we can both shove and call this hand. EVs are quite close. And our opponent folded. Okay, I think we've pretty much covered this GTO training section. And if you want to start a new session, you just click here, new session, and then you can select different library. Could be MTT or any other game. Could be 8 max, 9 max. Oh, unfortunately, post-flop and trainer for now are not available for 8 max spots, but this is just for now. And of course, you can choose the effective stack sizes, you can choose positions, you can choose a certain spot, and so on. And what else do we have here? Number 4 from my list of very cool features of this service, which is uploading hands. And maybe there are more cool features here than 4, but those are the ones that I've discovered for now. So yeah, here you can upload your hand histories. Most likely there will be some limit to the amount of hands that you can actually upload. Well, let's see. Let's see here. We have to subscribe here. Okay, let's go to the subscription options. Okay, here we see that for spin and go tournaments we can upload 75,000 hands per month. Please notice that the speed is huge, and probably we will have something like this for the MTTs. To upload hand history files, you can drag and drop them here, or you can click here and choose the files in the File Explorer. Unfortunately, I can't show you how it works right now, because right now in this trial period the upload feature does not work yet, and I don't have spin and go subscription. I assume there will be a list of some sorts when you upload your hand histories, where you see all the mistakes you make on every street. And this will actually save you a lot of time. If you played a session, for example, and you want to analyze it, you just upload all the hands here and you see where you were wrong. You don't have to spend time creating the simulation, then waiting for it to calculate and so on, because everything is already calculated for you. So that would be it for today. This service is really amazing. Pure imber for analyzing your game, for players, for coaches. If you coach some guys, for example, that would be really handy too. And I really recommend you to at least try this one while it's free till the end of October. And please leave your feedback. Maybe you have some ideas, some wishes. I know that the guys from Simple Poker are very sensitive to the feedback. They are ready to change everything, every little detail, like size of the button or colors or whatever. They are really putting their heart into work. They are really doing some meticulous job here. And all those libraries, they were created really thoroughly. I myself helped the guys with preflop trees, with post-flop simulations. I tried to go over all the nuances, all the little details, all the aspects of the game tree, so that project in the end would be from players for players, so that every player would benefit from it. Okay, thank you for your attention. Use GTOBase, leave your feedback, and good luck at the tables. Bye bye.